Fighting Championship 4, USA versus Mexico, live from Cancun. Fighters will battle it out with bare knuckles for pride and country as Julian Lane takes on Leonard Garcia and Beck Rawlings defends her title against Cecilia Ulo Flores. Plus a Fight of the Year rematch between Tony Lopez and Joey Beltran. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 4, USA versus Mexico, Saturday, February 2nd. To order, contact your local pay-per-view provider.
Hey guys, what's up? Combat Insiders back once again. Joshua Furs over here with Nick Portella as always. This is another edition of our face-to-face series where we're focusing on Bare-knuckle Fighting Championship number 4, coming at you from Cancun, Mexico, live and only on pay-per-view.
Yeah, guys, for those of you who may have missed it, these two gentlemen, Tom Shoaff, Diego Garijo, have already fought once.
Garijo.
God
damn it, Garijo. Jesus Christ. There's no L's in it. God, all right. That's my dad's fault for fucking having a fucked up name. Go ahead.
I feel like that error should just stay in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, these guys, it was a barn burner of a fight. I mean, the promotion, the fans, it's one that was always talked about. So we had to bring them both back on because they're meeting again.
Yeah, and like you said, the questions by the fans for the fans. So, like you said, we did an open polling, Twitter, Facebook. We got questions from all over the place. We had to filter through them. There was too many. So the whole series, we thank you so much to the fans. We thank you so much to Bare-knuckle for this awesome experience. But let's just get right into it. Tom, I got the first question for you, man. So the first fight started going, it started off 100 miles an hour. You rocked him in the opening seconds of the round. He kind of looked like he went over to the corner to the rope. Did you think it was over at that point? Because it almost looked like maybe, for a second that there was a possible stoppage right there.
No, I remember us getting in the exchange. I remember hitting him and him kind of turning and walking away. I remember briefly looking over at the ref to kind of see what his response to it was, but he said keep going, so we kept going. This is a sport just like any other combat sport where you don't stop until the ref pulls you off, So I didn't stop,
Right now, Diego, the next question's for you, kind of about the same event. That was one that a lot of people wanted to know about. After that happened, I mean, you kind of went over to the side. How hard was it to regain your composure, and especially to come back and get a win? Because it's not always easy to kind of gather where you are and what's going on, but you did it.
Yeah, it wasn't a fucking cool way to start a fight after having a layoff for 7 years, but it is what it is. Fucking, Tom's a technical striker. He landed a good, clean shot. It took me a fucking second to recompose, and Tom was more of a fucking killer. He fucking would have jumped in and not hesitated and finished me off, and that would have been, his good, He took a second, and, I don't have a lot of boxing experience. Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Good, man.
Okay, good. Shit, I might have even, if I was more in my senses, might have even taken a knee and shit, because that shot fucked me up. But you saw, a few seconds later, I was ready to go. So I have more experience, I think, than my record shows, and I've had the ability or the access to train with a lot of really top high-end fighters, a lot of UFC guys over the years. So I have a lot of experience, even more than my record shows, and I did get hit, but some fighters, they don't get serious until that happens, and sometimes that's me.
Tom, actually, I kind of want to follow up what he's talking about. Do you regret not kind of chasing that down and jumping on him when you had him rocked?
No. I mean, we're fighting, man. Like plain and simple. Like I would have loved. Trust me, I would have loved to have finished him. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have come running up on him and hit him one or two more times and finished him. But we're fighters, and he's a tough dude, and he weathered the storm when he came back, and he gave me one right back and put me on my ass, So, does it suck? Yeah. Was it a learning experience? Yeah. So I'll take it for what it is and move on.
Do you think you guys could have kept that pace going for 3 rounds?
I think we could have kept that pace going for 5 rounds if we had to. I mean,
so for sure, 2-minute rounds are nice.
Right, yeah, the 2-minute rounds are great, and we signed a contract. I feel like Diego probably has the same mentality that I do. Like, I signed a contract for 5 rounds. I'm going to put in to work to be willing to fight for 5 rounds. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but it would have been nice to be able to maintain that pace for 5 rounds. Absolutely.
So, Diego, was it your intention to come out just boom, firing on all cylinders and look for the early finish? It was really one of the wild fights, man. I mean, I know it didn't get out of the first round, but it was like barn burner.
Yeah, and that's how my fights usually are. I heard one interview Tom did, and he had a pretty good assertion about my skills. I go in head first a lot. I have more of a wrestling base. And I was a little bit rusty. I haven't fought in 7 years, so I kind of wanted to relive those days where I just come in blasting. And if you look at my record, most of my fights have ended in the first round. So it's kind of what I do, like I'm a pressure fighter too, and I put pressure, and I hardly ever take my foot off the gas, sometimes to a detriment, but
I think that's what happens when 2 guys meet up that are the same, that are just ready to bang. You get what you guys had.
Well, if I can elaborate on that, man, like,
sure.
It didn't help that we were supposed to be the second fight of the night. And then we got pushed back to the 4th fight of the night. And then we got pushed back to the 7th fight of the night. And then we got pushed back to the 11th fight of the night. And then we got pushed back to the last fight of the night. So from jump, as soon as the card started, we were ready to go. We're pacing back and forth, getting warmed up, and they're like, all right, cool back down. All right, warm back up. All right, cool back down. All right, warm back up. So by the time we finally got in there, I think we were just both so ready to rip each other's heads off that we didn't have a choice. It was just like, look, like, we waited this long, we're getting after it.
Now, does that feel like a huge detriment, though? Like when you warm up, cool down, like 4 or 5 times before you actually...
It's mentally exhausting. Because right. You're bringing yourself up, you're prepping yourself and you're ready to go, and they're like, all right, shut it down. And it's like, all right, got to reset everything, bring it all back down and then ramp yourself back up again. And you do that 3 or 4 times in a night, and even without the fight, it's exhausting.
You're just tired.
Right. So we went in there, or at least me personally, I went in there, I was frustrated, I was just ready to get it over with, to fight already. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that had, besides the fact that we're both pressure fighters and we're both exciting fighters, me personally, I was ready to fucking fight. I've been sitting there for 3.5 hours waiting to get on the damn show, and it finally happened. So
8 adrenaline dumps later.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that had a big impact for me, for sure.
Well, Tom, look, obviously with the first one not going your way, and this is kind of a 2-part question. Is it important to you to get this one back? And if you get the win, is it important maybe to have the trilogy to see, officially kind of the rubber match, who the better guy is?
Well, this is my problem with rematches, is it always leads to a rubber match. Unless, of course, Diego wins again. But usually what happens is it leads to all 3 fights. But to answer your questions, yes, it's important for me to get this win back, because I felt like in a fight that lasted 1 minute and 30 seconds, I was winning 1 minute and 20 of those seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I really felt like I was doing really good. So yeah, it's important for me to get this win back. And then if I get the win back, am I open to a trilogy fight? Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason not to. Diego had the respect of me to be like, yeah, I'll give him the rematch. Like, we had a good, exciting fight. Let's do this. So I can, if I get it back, I think that it's only reasonable and respectful to give him the same opportunity he's given me.
So, Diego, the next one's for you, and this is you can see how attentive the fans are. After the second knockdown and they stopped the fight, you were yelling something in his general direction. Do you happen to remember what you said?
I do.
You do? Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't care to repeat it. I was really mad at Tom, and I'll tell you right now that Tom made an off-color remark at the weigh-ins, and I chose not to get pissed there, and I held it in, and I just saved that for the fight. And I'm not going to say what he said there, because I think that was highly inappropriate, and he crossed the line. And the truth is, actually, I'm not going to say more about that, because without putting Tom on blast, so Tom, see, I'm a nice guy, Tom, I'm not talking shit about what you said.
So we'll just say you said what you felt was an even response. We won't get any further into what you actually said. You guys know what was said.
Hold on, Nick. What did Josh just say? Not Josh, sorry. Tom, what'd you say?
I said I honestly don't know what you're talking about as far as weigh-ins are concerned, man. But if you feel like I disrespected you,
you made a joke at the weigh-ins, and like I said, I don't want to put fuel on the fire, so I'm not going to even say it because I don't want to take this fight there. This is what I think happened. I think you saw that I was being real friendly, and you're a jokey guy, and you said something, and you didn't realize that maybe you crossed the line.
That's fair.
And
all right, fair enough.
I don't think. All right, man. Look, man. All right. With that, I don't think you're racist, man. You said a fucking racist joke, but I see that most of your friends are fucking, black or people of fucking color. So whatever. I didn't make a big deal out of it right there.
All right.
But I feel 100% justified in whatever the fuck I said when you were laying on the ground.
Okay.
And other than that, I like you. I think you're a good kid, man. You didn't even comb your hair like I did, so obviously.
All right, fair enough.
Fair enough. All
right.
Fair enough. Well, this next question goes out to the both of you, but Tom, I'm gonna get your reaction first. What do you expect out of your opponent, as far as I guess game plan wise, when you guys meet in Cancun?
I can't really say that I have anything to expect, man. I mean, that's a tricky situation. I could say that I expect him to. I don't have an expectation. I really don't. I expect to go out there and have and fight the same aggressive, fearless Diego, and that's what I expect as far as his technique, as far as his training regimen, as far as how ready he's going to be. I'm expecting the best Diego that one can expect, and that's all I got. That's all I got.
All right, Diego.
That's what I'm looking
for. Yeah, I'm expecting the same from Tom, man. I know that he takes the shit serious. I did see him smoking a cigarette right before the weigh-in, so I don't know how serious he takes it, or he was just a little nervous and needed to take the edge off. But everybody skins the cat a different way. I'm expecting. Yeah, it's hard to make an evolutionary jump in 3 months. Right. So I'm sure Tom comes a little more educated, knowing what I have to offer. Like I said, I'm not going to lie. I'm a very aggressive pressure fighter that is not the most technical striker, but I know that I've not just on my record, but in the gym have knocked out several people, so I know that I'm heavy-handed, and it's not just I'll tell you the truth. I fight so ugly and I make fights ugly that I think a lot of the times when I beat people, they're very much like, fuck, I could have beat that guy. But I didn't get lucky 11 fucking times, man. I mean, if you look at my record, I've only lost once. I had fucking amateur fights, before it was legalized in California, before they fucking used to make you wear pussy pads on your fucking legs and shit. And we used to do this shit in fucking warehouses. And fuck, man, I've knocked out enough people that I know that I hit a fucking hard as fuck. So when you got that in your corner, especially bare-knuckle, it only takes one to turn shit around, no matter how good Tom's looking with his footwork and landing those shots in the clinch.
So I guess the next question is for both of you, but like you said, there's not a great evolutionary jump in that short a time. Do you think your key to victory, I'll start with Diego, is changing from what you just said, or that's what that's what you do, you've historically fought the same way, so you're just sticking with what works for you more than 11 times so far?
I know I need more head movement. I know what I need to work on. I'm always trying to work on it. I'm a very aggressive fighter. I'm also maturing every day as a person. If I get to a point where I can move around a little more and fucking show some of the boxing skills, which I know I do have some boxing skills, fuck, man, I love to fight, and I love fighting like I fought Tom, you know, and like I said, that's brought me victory no matter how fucking cut up and bloody I was at the end of the night. You know, it's worked for me most of the time, so
we'll stick with it. Tom, what about you? What do you think your key to getting a W in Cancun is going to be?
Staying away from that big left hand. I mean, that was the one thing that got me in trouble in the last fight. You know what I'm saying? He caught me with the first one, put me down, caught me with the second one, and didn't get back up. So
I gotta apologize to Tom real quick too. You know, I lied to him at the doctor's meeting.
I remember that.
I told him I was gonna knock him out with a body shot, and I think I threw like one body shot the whole fight. So I apologize. I didn't mean to lie like that, but here's the truth, Tom. The funny thing is, I think I actually hit harder with my right than my left, but I just haven't landed one of those yet.
Mental warfare. That's what that is. So, again, another question for both of you. We'll go to Diego. You guys are both successful in MMA. Why the switch to bare-knuckle, and is this seem like your new home indefinitely? It's such a new sport, and it's gaining popularity. Do you see this being your new go-to sport?
Who's going first, Tom or me? Yeah, well, me. Yeah. All right, Tom, since you hesitated, let me step up, handle this shit. Yeah, wait, I know. Fuck, my friend said, I want a belt. Yeah, of course I want a belt. Of course I want a fucking belt. Everybody wants a belt. Listen, I took a break off. You know, I had family issues. I had fucking health issues. I'm healthy. I got cleared. This whole time, obviously, you know, if I can get cleared to fight bare-knuckle boxing, I could have got cleared to fight MMA. But even though I started doing jiu-jitsu and I'm literally like 10 times fucking better at jiu-jitsu than I am fucking boxing, as soon as I saw it, I said, fuck, I want to do that. My friend Joey Beltran was fighting on the card. I saw it on pay-per-view. And as soon as fucking the pay-per-view was over, I fucking sent him a text and I was like, fuck, congratulations, you just made history. You know, people look back at UFC 1 and even that fucking dude with the one boxing glove and shit, he made a career out of that shit, you know?
Art Jimerson. Career made, you're right.
I didn't want to get it wrong, but I knew it was art. So we have a chance right now to do something completely new, you know? And it's old as time too, but it's also fucking made refreshed and, you know, I'm just really excited to be a part of it and to get this chance. And it was motivating enough for me watching it to get off the couch and start training even before I knew the fight was locked down. And I mean, fuck, man, I'm going to be 40 in a few months. I hadn't sparred in fucking years. I got off the fucking couch and went right to the fucking gym and started hitting shit bare knuckle and called everybody I fucking knew and texted everybody and started tagging people until fucking Dave called me and said, all right, fuck, I'll put you in the fucking show.
There you go.
Jesus Christ, Diego. Jesus Christ.
It is kind of funny he brought up Joey because we actually had him and Tony on not that long ago. The same fashion. I told you guys, man, the fights that were barn burners, that's the ones that are coming on together. You guys made the cut, no question. And Tom, same question for you. Does this seem, I mean, again, you're successful in MMA. Could this be the transition to the new go-to sport for you?
I don't know, man. I just got promoted to my brown belt like a week ago, so I'm still focusing on my jiu-jitsu. I'm still doing my grappling and things along those lines. I'm probably going to go back to MMA later on this year. But honestly, I guess the best way to answer the question is I'm open to all avenues of making money in which I get to fist fight somebody. So if somebody's going to call me and say, hey, we got this bare-knuckle fight that we want you to do, if the money's right, I'm going to do it. If somebody calls me and say, hey, we got this MMA fight that we want you to do, if the money's right, I'm going to do it. Same with boxing or kickboxing or, you know, whatever. I make money fighting. This is how I pay my bills.
Right.
So the people who call and the people who ask me to fight for them and the ones who are paying properly are the ones who are going to have Tom on their card. That's the long and the short of that answer.
Well, we're both glad you're both here.
Well, thank you.
Just call that what it is.
Yeah, so guys, it's probably safe to say this is probably the last interaction you guys will probably have until fight week. I guess, and this goes out to both of you. Tom, you first. What's your final thoughts on Diego, on the fight, predictions? What do you have to say to him, between now and then?
I'm training my ass off, dude. So you made me experience something I never want to experience again. Therefore, I am bound and determined to not experience it again. So be prepared for that type of mentality in the person that you are fighting on February 2nd.
Diego?
What was the question again?
Being that this is probably the last interaction you guys are going to have with each other until fight week, what's your any final words for Tom or predictions or otherwise that you want him to know?
Well, Tom knows what to do, and I don't need to give him advice. Obviously, he shouldn't be smoking at the weigh-ins, but like I said, people get nervous and they need to do whatever they need to do to calm their nerves. I don't have anything to say, man. The fight for me is about me. It's not about Tom. Through the history of my MMA career, I just fight people, and I concern myself more with my game and what I'm doing than what they're doing. Leading up to this fight, I didn't watch very much of Tom's stuff. I'm sure he saw whatever you could find online about me. And I didn't even see any of Tom's interviews until recently because I just wanted to see, I don't know, if he was going to talk shit or whatever. Tom's a nice kid. I like him. I wish him the best. I enjoy bare-knuckle boxing for BKFC. I think our boss is great. I'm ready to do this shit. I don't know why Tom's voice is really high-pitched in interviews and shit, but ladies, if you're out there, it's really silky smooth in real life. And he's a nice guy, but I think he just comes off a little whiny and high pitch. I don't know. Other than that,
It's got a real confused look on her face right now.
Oh, hey, I didn't think Tom was cheating. I'm just saying he sounds a little, I don't know, high pitch on the videos, but he's a cool dude. I like him.
I see where you're going with this. All right.
All right.
All right. Well,
it's mental warfare on his part.
Tom, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Did you ask for the rematch, or did they offer you the rematch?
They offered me the rematch, and I took it without hesitation.
Yeah, I know. I respect you, man. I think you got your head on straight.
Happy to hear it.
All right. Well, you guys are going to see more of Tom and Diego February 2nd, Cancun, Mexico, only on pay-per-view. Go to Bare-knuckle.tv for more information. That's all we got. For Nick, for Josh, we are Combat Insiders. And thanks for tuning in.
It's time to knuckle out! Bare-knuckle fighting championship 4. USA versus Mexico live from Cancun. Fighters will battle it out with bare knuckles for pride and country as Julian Lane takes on Leonard Garcia and Beck Rawlings defends her title against Cecilia Ulo Flores. Plus a fight of the year rematch between Tony Lopez and Joey Beltran. Bare-knuckle fighting championship 4. USA versus Mexico Saturday, February 2nd. To order, contact your local pay-per-view provider.